There's a moment after rejection, a moment heavy with confusion, anger, and sadness, where everything in you wants to react. Maybe you've been there before. The urge to explain yourself, to fight for understanding, or to prove your worth can feel overwhelming. Your mind races with questions. Why did this happen? What did I do wrong? Can I fix this? And here's the catch. They're waiting for you to respond. They expect you to follow the script they've seen before, reaching out, begging for clarity, offering your energy like it's theirs to take. They expect you to crack. And why wouldn't they? That's what most people do. But what if you didn't? What if, instead of unraveling, you stayed silent, not out of bitterness or pettiness, but out of strength? What if you could transform rejection into a moment of clarity, resilience, and undeniable power? You see, most people misunderstand silence. They think it's weakness. They think it's surrender. But true silence, practiced with intention and discipline, is one of the strongest responses you can give. It shifts the balance. It turns the tables. It leaves them questioning themselves while you reclaim control of your mind, your heart, and your future. This isn't about ignoring them. It's about choosing yourself. It's about finding strength in stillness and clarity and calm. And it's not just a reaction, it's a strategy. A strategy rooted in Stoicism, the timeless philosophy of resilience, self-mastery, and inner peace. In this journey, we'll uncover 6 ways to hold your silence and make it your greatest weapon. I'll show you why staying silent works, how it unsettles those who reject you, and most importantly, how it transforms you into someone stronger, calmer, and unshakable. You might be asking, how is silence even a response? Stick with me. This isn't just a video or an article. It's a shift in mindset, a transformation waiting to unfold. And by the end, you'll understand why silence, when wielded with purpose, is the most powerful move you can make. Are you ready to change how you face rejection forever? Let's dive in. 1. Silence reclaims your power. Think about the last time someone rejected you. Maybe it was a relationship that ended abruptly, a friendship that faded away, a job opportunity you desperately wanted but didn't get. What was the first thing you felt? Loss? Anger? Confusion? And what was your instinct? For most of us, rejection creates a sense of emptiness, a void that screams to be filled. So we react. We reach out to the person who rejected us, asking for answers, pleading for another chance, or trying to prove that they've made a mistake. Here's the harsh truth. Every time you react this way, you're giving them your power. Picture this. You're standing on a stage, holding a microphone. They're in the audience, watching, listening. And every word you say, every text you send, every call you make is a way of handing them that microphone. Suddenly, they're the ones in control of the conversation, your emotions, and the narrative of your life. But what happens when you don't hand over the microphone? What happens when you stay silent? Silence reclaims your power. It's you standing tall on that stage, microphone in hand, refusing to let them dictate your next move. It's you deciding in that moment that your peace of mind is more important than their validation. Here's where Stoicism comes into play. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Rejection is an outside event. It's something you cannot control, but your response, that's entirely yours. When you stay silent, you're exercising your greatest power, control over yourself. You're choosing not to let someone else's actions determine your inner state. But this isn't easy. The mind will rebel. Thoughts will creep in. If I don't say something, they'll think I don't care. Or worse, they'll think they won. Let me challenge you with this. Does their opinion matter more than your peace? Do you want to win a pointless battle of words? Or do you want to win yourself back? The truth is, silence speaks louder than any explanation you could give. When you choose not to react, it unsettles them. It makes them question what's happening. They wonder why you aren't reaching out, why you aren't fighting to be heard. It's like a script they're used to playing has suddenly stopped mid-scene, and now they don't know what to do. And here's the beautiful part. While they're left wondering, you're left growing. Because silence isn't passive, it's active. It's a choice to redirect your energy inward, to reflect, to heal, and to rebuild yourself stronger than you were before. This is the essence of Stoicism, turning pain into power by mastering your mind and choosing the right response. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine two people after a rejection. One is angry, emotional, reaching out, begging for clarity, giving all their energy away. The other stays silent, calm, focused. While the first person spirals, the second one builds. Who looks stronger? Who feels stronger? And more importantly, who is stronger? The answer is clear. Silence is not surrender, it's a declaration. It's saying, I choose myself. I choose peace. I choose not to hand you the power you expected me to give. Let's be honest, this is hard to do. It takes discipline, courage, and an unshakable belief in your own worth. But every time you resist the urge to react, you're reclaiming a piece of yourself. You're proving to yourself that your value doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. And trust me, they'll feel it. They'll check their phone, expecting your name to pop up. They'll replay the moment, wondering why you haven't reached out. And with each passing day, your silence will echo louder than any words ever could. But this isn't about them. It's about you. It's about choosing to stand firm in your own strength, knowing that rejection doesn't define you, it refines you. It strips away what isn't meant for you, so you can focus on what is. So the next time you face rejection, pause, take a breath, and choose silence. Hold on to your power, because that's exactly what it is, yours. Ask yourself this: what do I gain by reacting? What do I gain by staying silent? The answers might surprise you. And if you feel tempted to break that silence, to reach out, to explain yourself, remember this: your peace is more valuable than their approval. Every second you stay silent is a second you're investing in yourself. It's a second you're proving that you are stronger than rejection, stronger than the need for validation, and stronger than the person they expected you to be. Reclaim your power. Take the microphone back and let your silence speak volumes. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. How has reacting in the past taken away your power? What would staying silent mean for you today? Share your thoughts below, and let's build strength together. 2. Silence reflects their own emptiness. Here's a truth you need to hear. Silence doesn't just protect your peace, it turns the mirror back on them. It forces them to face something they never wanted to confront, themselves. Think about this for a moment. When you react, when you beg, explain, or try to fix their rejection, you're taking the focus off of their choices. You're giving them an easy escape from the reality they created. Your words, your emotions, your energy become a distraction, a cushion they can hide behind to avoid facing the consequences of their actions. But when you stay silent, everything changes. Imagine this. They're sitting there waiting for your reaction. They're used to people responding, feeding their ego and validating their decisions. They're counting on you to follow the same pattern, to chase, to apologize, to let them know they still have power over you. But instead, you give them nothing. Suddenly, they're left alone with their thoughts. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting back the emptiness they brought into your life. They can't escape it. It lingers in the air like a heavy fog, forcing them to sit with their choices, their insecurities, and their doubts. How unsettling must that be? You see, people who hurt you, who reject you without thought or care, often do so from a place of their own emptiness. Their actions are not about you, they are about them. Their inability to appreciate your worth, their failure to treat you with respect, and their decision to walk away reflect their limitations, not yours. When you stay silent, you refuse to carry the weight of their shortcomings. You refuse to let their emptiness spill into your life. Instead, you let them sit with it. Imagine the moment they realize that the power they thought they had over you is gone. They scroll through their phone, expecting to see your name, your desperate text or missed call, but it's not there. Hours pass, then days, and the silence grows louder. It becomes something they can't ignore. Here's the thing about silence, it makes people uncomfortable. Why? Because they can't control it. They can't predict what you're thinking or feeling. And the unknown terrifies them. This is why silence is so powerful. It flips the script. Instead of you chasing them, they're now left chasing answers they'll never get. They'll ask themselves, why haven't they reached out? Are they over me? Did I make a mistake? And every unanswered question becomes a reminder that they're no longer in control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." That's where you are now, in the quiet of your own soul, untouchable and unshakable. While they're left with chaos, you've chosen calm. While they're drowning in questions, you're rising in clarity. This isn't about revenge. It's about shifting focus away from them and onto yourself. Because the moment you stop reacting, you stop giving them free access to your energy. You reclaim your peace, and they're left to face the silence they created. And trust me, they'll feel it. They'll sit with the void, replaying moments in their mind, wondering if they misjudged you. They'll realize that you are not like the others who fell apart at their rejection. You're different, stronger, wiser. And now they can't touch you. But here's the question. Why should you care what they feel? The truth is, you don't owe them anything, not a word, not an explanation, and certainly not your energy. Your silence is your final word. It says everything without saying anything at all. It says, I'm done. I'm free. And I choose myself. Think about how powerful that is. You're no longer seeking answers from someone who never had them to give. You're no longer looking for validation from someone who couldn't see your worth. Instead, you're creating a life where their opinion no longer holds weight. Ask yourself this: what does their approval even mean? What power does it really hold? The answer? None. When you stop chasing their validation, you take back the power they thought they had. You stand firm in who you are, and you let your silence do the talking. This is the beauty of Stoicism, choosing to master your response, instead of being a slave to your emotions. Epictetus taught us, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Silence is your way of refusing to be provoked. It's your refusal to let someone else dictate how you think, how you feel, or how you act. Here's what I want you to do. The next time rejection hits and that urge to react pulls at you, stop. Take a breath. Let the silence sit. It will be uncomfortable at first, that's normal. But with every passing moment, it becomes easier, stronger, and so do you. Trust me, you don't need to say a word. Your silence says it all. So let me ask you, do you feel the power in this? Do you feel the weight of what silence can do? If this resonates with you, if you're ready to reclaim your power through silence, let me know. Like this video and comment number 1 below to show that you're choosing strength over reaction. And if you're finding this insight valuable, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join this journey of growth, resilience, and unshakable peace. We're building a community of people who are ready to rise above. And I want you to be part of it. Because here's the truth. Silence isn't emptiness, it's clarity, it's power. And it's yours to hold. Are you ready for the next step? Stay with me, because the transformation has only just begun. 3. Silence is the beginning of your transformation. Let's take a moment to reflect. When someone rejects you, it's easy to feel like it's the end of something, your self-worth, your confidence, maybe even your identity. But what if I told you that rejection isn't an ending? What if I told you it's the beginning of something far more powerful? You see, rejection has a strange way of stripping away everything that no longer serves you. The pain feels raw, yes, but it's also honest. It exposes the illusions, the false hopes, and the energy you poured into someone or something that wasn't meant for you. Rejection forces you to confront yourself, your fears, your doubts, your unmet needs. And here's where the transformation begins. In silence, you give yourself permission to step away from the noise, the chaos, and the need to be understood. You enter a space where no one else's opinion matters. A space where you can reflect, heal, and rebuild from the ground up. Think of it this way. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The steel doesn't become strong until it's placed in the fire, until it's melted, reshaped, and cooled again. Rejection is that fire. And silence, Silence is what allows you to endure it, to emerge sharper, stronger, and unbreakable. Here's the challenge. Most people try to skip this part. They want the pain to end quickly, so they reach for distractions. They call the person who rejected them, trying to patch things up. They lose themselves in social media, hoping for a hit of validation. They bury the hurt under temporary comforts, pretending they're fine. But what happens when you sit with it instead? When you allow silence to be your companion, not your enemy? In that silence, you learn, you grow, you transform. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that for a moment. Rejection feels like a roadblock, doesn't it? It feels like someone has slammed a door in your face. But that door isn't the end. It's a sign that you need to find a new path. It's an opportunity to shift your focus, to redirect your energy toward yourself, and to start building a life that reflects your true worth. Ask yourself this: what if rejection isn't happening to you but for you? What if this silence is clearing space for something better? For you to rediscover your passions, your purpose, and your sense of self. The truth is, you cannot grow if you're clinging to something or someone who has already let go of you. By staying silent, you stop reaching for what's lost. You give yourself room to rise. This is where Stoicism becomes your guide. It teaches us to accept what we cannot control and to focus on what we can ourselves. You can't control rejection. You can't control how someone else sees you or feels about you. But you can control what you do next. And what you do next is everything. Here's how you start. Let silence be your foundation. Instead of reacting, use the quiet to reconnect with yourself. Ask yourself, what do I want? What do I deserve? Who do I want to become? These are questions that only silence can answer. Use rejection as fuel. The pain you feel? It's not there to break you, it's there to build you. Let it ignite your determination to become the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Focus on growth, not revenge. This isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Your silence isn't about making them feel small. It's about making yourself feel whole. Imagine this. Months from now, they see you again. You're calm, confident, and completely transformed. You're living a life they never imagined for you, a life filled with purpose, strength, and unshakable peace. And here's the kicker. You didn't have to say a single word to get there. Your silence spoke for you. Your growth became the answer to everything they left unanswered. But let me ask you, are you ready to embrace that silence? Are you ready to let it shape you into someone they'll no longer recognize, someone stronger, wiser, and completely free? If you're feeling this, if you know deep down that this is your moment to transform, I want you to do two things right now. First, like this video to show that you're ready to embrace the power of silence. Second, comment number 1 below to affirm that this is the beginning of your transformation. And if you're not already part of this community, hit that subscribe button. This is more than a channel, it's a movement. A place where we choose growth over stagnation, calm over chaos, and silence over unnecessary noise. Because here's the truth. Transformation doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the quiet moments. It happens when you choose to walk away from what isn't meant for you and step into the person you were always destined to become. You've already taken the first step. Now stay with me because there's more to come. The silence is only the beginning. Are you ready for what's next? Let's keep going. 4. Silence builds boundaries they can't cross. Let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries are one of the most misunderstood and underrated forms of power. Why? Because most people see boundaries as walls, something that keeps others out. But here's the truth. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors you choose to lock or unlock. And silence. Silence is the key to building those doors. Think about it. When someone rejects you, they're making a statement about how they see you and your value. It hurts, no denying that. But what hurts even more is when you give them free access to your mind, your heart, and your energy, even after they've walked away. How often have you let someone's rejection linger in your life? How often have you replayed their words, reread their messages, or stalked their social media to see if they're doing better without you? And every time you did, didn't it feel like they were still there pulling strings in your mind, even when they were physically gone? That's what happens when you don't set boundaries. You give them space to occupy your peace. Silence changes that. Silence is the first and most important boundary you can set. It's saying, no more. You don't get to take up space here anymore. This isn't about cutting people off out of bitterness or anger. It's about preserving your energy, protecting the most sacred parts of yourself from those who don't deserve access. Here's the thing. People who reject you often expect to still have control over you. They assume you'll still respond when they poke at your emotions. They believe they can walk away but leave the door open just enough to come back if they want to. But when you stay silent, you're locking that door. You're letting them know that their free access is gone, and they no longer get to dictate your emotional landscape. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoicism teachers, once said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." Who are you? Are you someone who lets others walk in and out of your life as they please? Or are you someone who stands firm, grounded in self-respect, and knows that your worth isn't determined by anyone else's acceptance? The truth is, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to giving away your energy without question. Maybe you're afraid they'll think you're cold, distant, or uncaring. But let me challenge you. Why does their opinion matter more than your peace? When you stay silent, you're doing more than refusing to react. You're building a fortress around your well-being. You're creating a space where their words, actions, and rejection no longer have any power. Picture this. They try to reach out, testing the waters to see if you'll let them back in. Maybe it's a message, a phone call, or a subtle post meant to provoke you. And what do they find? Silence. A locked door. How powerful is that? They were expecting you to stumble, to leave the door wide open, to give them a reason to believe they still mattered in your life. But instead, they're met with boundaries so firm they can't cross them. And here's the best part. Those boundaries aren't for them. They're for you. Silence gives you space to heal, reflect, and grow without interference. It allows you to focus on yourself without the distractions of their energy or presence. It's in this silence that you begin to build a new version of yourself, one that they no longer have access to. Imagine the person you'll become when you start protecting your peace like this. Someone who doesn't let people who reject them stick around in their mind. Someone who isn't swayed by manipulation, guilt, or meaningless gestures. Someone who stands so firmly in their self-worth that no rejection can shake them. That's the power of boundaries. That's the power of silence. The next time they test your boundaries, when they try to pull you back into their game, hold steady. Stay silent. Refuse to engage. Every time you do this, you're reinforcing the boundary. You're telling yourself, I am worth more than this. My peace is not negotiable. And trust me, they'll feel it. The door they once had free access to is now locked, and that silence will hit them harder than anything you could say. So, let me ask you, are you ready to start protecting your peace? Are you ready to build boundaries they can't cross? If you are, take a moment right now, like this video, to affirm that you're done giving away your energy. And comment number 1 below if you're ready to let your silence build the strongest boundaries in your life. And if this message resonates with you, don't stop here. Subscribe to this channel and join a community of people committed to personal growth, resilience, and the wisdom of Stoicism. Together, we'll continue building the strength to set boundaries, reclaim peace, and rise above rejection. Because here's the truth. Silence isn't about shutting people out, it's about letting yourself in. It's about creating a life where your energy is protected, your worth is honored, and your peace is untouchable. Are you ready for the next step? Stay with me, because we're about to dive even deeper into the power of silence and what it means for your transformation. This is only the beginning. 5. Silence turns pain into strength. Let's be real for a moment. Rejection hurts. No matter how strong you are, hearing no, being left behind, or feeling like you weren't enough stings. It's like a punch to the gut, unexpected, sharp, and lingering long after the moment has passed. And the pain? Oh, the pain feels unbearable at first. It whispers lies to you. You weren't good enough. You didn't matter. You'll never be chosen. But here's what you need to know. Pain doesn't have to break you. Pain can build you. It can become the fire that fuels your transformation, the weight that strengthens you, the teacher that pushes you to become someone you never thought possible. How does silence help with this? Silence allows you to sit with that pain, to face it head on, not to avoid it, not to bury it under distractions or empty words, but to confront it and let it shape you. In silence, you don't run from your hurt, you use it. You let it carve you into someone stronger. Here's the reality most people miss. The growth you're seeking, the transformation you want, only comes through discomfort. That pain you're feeling, it's not a dead end, it's a doorway. But you can't walk through it if you're constantly chasing validation or reacting to rejection. Think of a wound. If you keep picking at it, touching it, exposing it, it'll never heal. It'll stay raw, vulnerable, and open. That's what happens when you keep engaging with the person or situation that hurt you. You're not giving yourself the space to heal. But silence. Silence is the bandage. It's the protection that allows the wound to close, the skin to rebuild, and the pain to transform into a scar, one that no longer hurts but reminds you of how far you've come. The Stoics teach us that adversity is not something to be feared but embraced. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Rejection is your obstacle, yes, but it's also your opportunity. Your silence gives you the time and space to turn that pain into purpose, to take the energy you once wasted on them and pour it into yourself. Ask yourself this: what if the pain of rejection isn't happening to you but for you? What if it's clearing away what you didn't need so you can build something better? Let me tell you this: you will never regret the time you invest in yourself. The pain they caused you can become the very thing that drives you to grow. Picture this. Every time you resist the urge to reach out, you're proving your strength. Every time you sit in silence and let yourself feel, you're becoming more resilient. Every time you choose not to engage, you're reclaiming your power and turning your focus inward. Imagine them months or even years from now, looking back and realizing what they lost. They thought they broke you. They thought their rejection would leave you shattered and small. But instead, they'll see someone unrecognizable, someone stronger, wiser, and far beyond their reach. And here's the truth. You're not doing this to prove them wrong. You're doing it to prove yourself right, to remind yourself of your worth, your potential, and your ability to rise even in the face of pain. Pain doesn't have to make you bitter. Pain doesn't have to break you. Pain, when faced with courage and silence, becomes the very thing that transforms you into a version of yourself you've never met before. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, said, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are." This moment of rejection, it's your difficulty. And it's showing you exactly what you're made of. Are you going to let the pain define you, or will you use it to build yourself into someone they'll never forget? Every time you feel that ache, that sting of rejection, I want you to remember this. It's not the end. It's the beginning of something powerful. Let that pain push you forward. Let it fuel your goals, your dreams, and your growth. When you feel tempted to react, to give in to the hurt, pause. Choose silence. Breathe deeply and tell yourself, "This pain is making me stronger. This silence is my power. I will use this to rise." Ask yourself, what would happen if I redirected this energy? What could I achieve if I poured it into myself? The answers are limitless. And here's where I challenge you: take one step today, just one. Maybe it's starting a new habit. Maybe it's journaling your thoughts. Maybe it's hitting the gym, reading that book, or starting the project you've been putting off. Let this pain be the fuel that sets your life on fire in the best way possible. You don't owe them your words. You don't owe them your energy. What you owe yourself is this: the chance to grow beyond the rejection and turn pain into something extraordinary. Now, if this message speaks to you, if you're ready to take that pain and use it to fuel your transformation, I want you to let me know. Like this video and comment number 1 below to declare that you're choosing growth over bitterness. And if you're not already part of this community, hit that subscribe button. Join us as we learn to master our minds, face our challenges, and live with the wisdom of Stoicism, choosing calm, strength, and resilience every single time. Because here's the truth. The pain they caused you doesn't define you. Your response does. Choose silence. Choose strength. Choose to rise. This is your moment. Are you ready to take it? Stay with me, there's still more to come, and I promise it only gets better from here. 6. Silence makes you unforgettable. Here's the truth that no one tells you. The most unforgettable people aren't the ones who shout the loudest or fight for attention. They're the ones who master the art of silence. Why? Because silence leaves a mark that words simply cannot. When someone rejects you, they expect a predictable response. They're used to people unraveling, reaching out, pleading, or trying to cling to what's already gone. It feeds their ego. It reassures them that they were important enough to shake someone to their core. But what happens when you don't play that role? What happens when you give them nothing? No explanation, no reaction, no emotional fallout. You become unforgettable. Let me explain. Your silence, deliberate and unshakable, becomes a mirror they can't escape. It forces them to look inward, to question their choices, and to sit with the weight of what they did. It unsettles them. Why? Because silence is unexpected. It's powerful. It lingers. Picture this. They open their phone, expecting your message. Maybe they scroll through their notifications, assuming you'll break eventually. They're waiting for you to say something, anything that confirms they still matter in your life. But all they find is silence. And that silence doesn't just sit there, it grows louder with every passing day. It echoes in their mind, making them wonder, did I misjudge them? Why haven't they reached out? Were they stronger than I thought? They thought rejection would break you. They thought you would crumble under the weight of it. But instead, you chose silence, and now they can't stop thinking about you. You see, silence creates space for doubt. It forces them to confront the possibility that you were never the problem. Maybe they were. And nothing unsettles someone more than realizing they let go of something they'll never get back. This isn't about revenge, it's about showing your strength. When you stay silent, you send an unspoken message. I'm not chasing you. I don't need your validation. And I refuse to be defined by your absence. This is where Stoicism comes into play once again. Marcus Aurelius taught us. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. When they expected chaos, you gave them calm. When they wanted desperation, you gave them stillness. When they assumed you'd fall apart, you chose to rise silently. And here's the magic in that. People remember what they can't control. People remember what unsettles them. Your silence has now become the loudest thing in their life. Think of it like this. When a song ends abruptly, the silence that follows is almost deafening. It catches your attention. It stays with you. That's exactly what your silence does. It becomes the unexpected ending they can't forget. And here's the beautiful part. While they're wrestling with questions, you're building yourself into someone they'll never recognize. Someone stronger, calmer, and completely out of reach. Ask yourself this. What impact do I want to leave behind? Do I want to be remembered for chasing someone who rejected me? Or do I want to be remembered as someone who rose above it? You have the power to decide. Every day you stay silent, you're leaving a mark. Not on them, but on yourself. You're proving your strength, your discipline, and your self-worth. You're showing that you don't crumble under rejection, you use it to become unforgettable. And trust me, they'll feel it. They'll remember you in the quiet moments when they're alone, when the noise fades, and when they realize they underestimated you. You won't just be someone they rejected. You'll be the one they lost. That's the power of silence. But here's the most important part. Your silence isn't for them, it's for you. It's about choosing to rise above, to move forward, and to let go of what wasn't meant for you. You're not holding on to bitterness or anger. You're letting their rejection transform you into someone they can't ignore. This is your moment to step into a new version of yourself, one that doesn't chase, doesn't explain, and doesn't break. A version of you who moves forward with quiet confidence and unstoppable purpose. So let me ask you, are you ready to embrace that power? Are you ready to let your silence speak louder than any words ever could? If you are, I want you to take a moment right now. Like this video to affirm that you're choosing strength. And comment number 1 below to declare that your silence is your power and that you're ready to become unforgettable. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join this community of growth and resilience. Together, we're choosing calm over chaos, silence over reaction, and strength over weakness, guided by the wisdom of Stoicism. Because here's the truth. Rejection doesn't define you. Your response does. And silence. Silence is the response they'll never forget. This is just the beginning. Stay with me, because your transformation is unfolding with every quiet, powerful step forward. The best is yet to come. Are you ready? Let's keep going. Here we are, the end of this journey, but the beginning of your transformation. Let's pause and reflect for a moment. What have you learned? That rejection, no matter how painful, does not have to define you. That your response, calm, deliberate, and silent, holds more power than you ever imagined. That silence isn't emptiness, it's strength. It's your declaration to the world and to yourself. I choose me. Think back to where we started. That urge to react when rejection hits, to explain yourself, to beg for validation, or to fix what's broken. That urge is natural, but it's not your path forward. Rejection strips away what's not meant for you, and in the space that remains, you have the power to rebuild silently, steadily, and stronger than before. This journey is not about them. It's not about proving a point, winning someone back, or getting the last word. It's about you. It's about turning inward, reclaiming your power, and using silence as a tool to rebuild yourself into someone unrecognizable, someone unshakable. Do you feel that shift happening? Can you see yourself rising above the pain, beyond their rejection, and into the calm confidence of someone who knows their worth? Because that's what this is. You're awakening. The next time rejection hits, here's what I want you to do. Stop. Don't react. Don't reach out. Let the silence sit. Reflect. Use this silence as a mirror to see yourself clearly, who you are, what you deserve, and where you want to go. Grow. Take every ounce of pain and turn it into fuel for your goals, your dreams, and your growth. And remember this. Your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. It unsettles those who expected you to crumble. It forces them to question everything. And most importantly, it allows you to move forward with dignity, strength, and purpose. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't control rejection. You can't control how others see you or what they do. But you can control yourself, your response, your energy, and your focus. Choose silence. Choose calm. Choose to rise. Before we close, let me ask you one final question. What would happen if you stopped chasing those who rejected you? What would your life look like if you redirected all of that energy back into yourself, into your growth, your dreams, and your peace? I'll tell you what would happen. You'd become unstoppable. You'd become unforgettable. You'd become the strongest version of yourself. If this resonates with you, if you feel the power of silence in your bones, then let me know. Like this video and comment number 1 below to affirm that you're choosing strength, not reaction. Let the world know that your silence is your power, and you're ready to embrace it. And if you're not already part of this community, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. This is where we grow together, where we learn to master our minds, reclaim our power, and live with the wisdom of Stoicism. Remember, this isn't the end. It's the start of something extraordinary. Your silence is your strength, your shield, and your roar. Hold it close. Let it guide you forward. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself. And most importantly, thank you for choosing the quiet strength that will carry you through anything life throws your way. Now go, rise. Let your silence speak for you. And watch as you become the version of yourself they'll never forget. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs this message. Your silence is your power. Let them feel it. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and remember, this is just the beginning. Your story is far from over.